No city presents a tableau like our city. Lady Liberty to the Freedom Tower. September, a perfect month in New York. From the Empire State to the sunset and baseball. At Citi Field in New York, the New York Mets play the Colorado Rockies. And a pleasant good evening, everybody, and welcome to Citi Field. Gary Cohen, Ron Darling, Keith Hernandez with you tonight as the Mets play the middle game of their series against the Rockies. The Mets won last night. David Wright is out of the lineup today. David's been nursing a shoulder injury since early July, and he's going to see the doctor. We should know more about David by the time the game is over tonight. But with David out of the lineup, Daniel Murphy returns. Murphy's been sitting out with a calf injury, and after missing 13 games, he comes back to the lineup tonight.
Well, a very unfortunate injury for Daniel. Daniel was hitting .301 when he went down. He had a chance at that time to break the doubles record, Mets team doubles record at 44. He has 34. That's kind of gone by the wayside. And chance for 200 hits, and that's gone by the wayside. So it's really a tough injury for him, but he's back in there. You know what I'd like to see is, depending on the injury to David Wright, you know how I love Herrera. I would love to see if David is going to miss any kind of time, or if he's shut down, which is purely speculative. I would love to see Daniel move over to third base and get that young Herrera in there and play the rest of the season at second base.
That would certainly be something to consider. Meanwhile, on the mound tonight, a couple of rookie right-handers who were both drafted in 2010. Jacob DeGrom for the Mets and Christian Bergman for the Rockies, and two pitchers who've got a little different experience in their rookie season.
Well, you know what's amazing is that it seems like yesterday Jacob DeGrom was brought up for that spot start against the Yankees. Well, his spot is pretty permanent now. His last 12 starts, he is 7-2 for the Mets. And Christian Bergman is a guy that was a 24th round pick. He got on their radar, their map, 2 years ago when he won 16 games in Modesto. He's getting his shot now with the big club.
Mound battle, hair battle tonight between the two 26-year-olds. It's the Mets and the Rockies with the sun setting over New York. Come on back. All the action coming your way on SNY. to you by your Tri-State Cadillac dealer. Visit CadillacTristate.com to search local offers and to find a local dealer near you. By Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit Geico.com for a free rate quote. By StubHub, earn 2% back in fan rewards on every purchase on StubHub, including Mets tickets. StubHub, your ticket to upgrades and more. And by Ford, for great deals on Ford cars, trucks, SUVs, and crossovers, visit TriStateFord.com. The most popular way to follow September baseball is with MLB.com at Bat, the #1 app for live baseball. Enjoy live look-ins, replay reviews, scores, live radio broadcasts, the MLB.TV game of the day, and more. Get at Bat for your smartphone or tablet on the App Store. Visit MLB.com. Here's your AT&T fan photo for tonight. We had so many submissions the last few nights. They carried over to tonight. Nice shot in the Jackie Robinson Rotunda right in front of Jackie's number 42. Thanks, Sue P. Jacob DeGrom, 20th start, trying to burnish his Rookie of the Year credentials. His first pitch coming right up. In May, he was brought up thinking that he would go to the bullpen. Didn't work out that way. 19 starts deep in his big league career, and he has really made a name for himself in the National League. Here's the lineup he'll face for the Rockies tonight. Justin Morneau, who didn't play last night, is leading the National League in batting. So it's been a nice move for Morneau from Minnesota to Colorado. Nolan Arenado's hit 4 home runs in his last 5 games, homered last night. So it's a tough lineup that the Rockies run out there, and DeGrom will try and stifle them tonight.
Well, you see his Caesars numbers. They're unbelievable. I mentioned in the open that he's 7-2 in his last 12. His strikeout to walk ratio is 4-1 in that time, and he has 7 starts this year. He's gone at least 7 innings and given up 1 run or fewer.
And the defense brought to you by Lexus. Up on the board real quick. Dendecker back in the lineup. Neuenhuis has had 2 starts in a row. Now he's back in there with David Wright down, Eric Campbell at third base, and also the return of Daniel Murphy at second base. D'Arnaud, red hot bat behind the plate.
I did not realize this, but I don't want to stereotype, but an appropriate song from a kid from Central Florida, Simple Man by Lynyrd Skynyrd.
We don't stereotype here, Ron, so calm down.
I mean, that's an appropriate song from a kid from Florida.
Well, Jacob was able to pitch in his home state in his last start. Left that game thinking he had allowed an earned run, but a scoring change was executed in his favor, and he allowed, as it turned out, no earned runs. In fact, he's now gone 14 consecutive innings without giving up an earned run. So things just continue to go the way of Jacob DeGrom, who has just had himself a terrific season. Charlie Blackmon leads off, the first-time All-Star, hitting at .286. Didn't start last night against the lefty. DeGrom's first pitch is upstairs for ball one, and we're underway. Blackmon, 17 home runs, 68 RBIs, emerging this year at age 28. And he bluffs the bunt and takes a strike, 1-1.
He's had himself an outstanding season. 17 home runs, 68 RBIs. He's been hitting in the top of the order, not in an RBI position.
Blackmon came in late last night for defense and watched Curtis Granderson's triple to the gap in right center sail by him. Not a great route to the ball.
You know what I was thinking, though? How hard is it to come off the bench? It was a little cooler tonight and have that same flat-out speed that Blackmon usually has.
Breaks his bat as he fouls that one off. Does it sound like it? Maybe not.
Although I guess there's less excuse for it now because you have those indoor places to run and get loose.
Michael Kadire, who homered in his first at bat off the DL last night, is on deck. Justin Morneau behind him. DeGrom ahead of the opening hitter, 1-2. And Blackmon taps one down to third. Campbell on the backhand has to rush the throw and just got it there in time. Campbell stayed back on that ball, maybe underestimating the speed of Blackmon, then had to really hurry up.
He had to rush that throw, and they just did get him. It's amazing how the distance from home plate around those bags has been there for over 100 years, and it's
still perfect.
It's perfect. It always astounds me.
No one's outrun the bag yet, right?
I mean, you could raise the basket in NBA now. Everybody's too tall. You know, they had to move the hash marks in football. Remember, the hash marks were more out or towards the sidelines. But baseball, the field is perfect.
Michael Kadire 1 for 4 last night. Hit the home run his first time up. His last game before he got hurt and went on the disabled list, he hit for the cycle. First game back, first at bat, he hits a home run. It's one of those Moise Salou, wake up in the middle of the night at age 50 and get a base hit kind of thing.
You know, what's that phrase, Keith? They say he's a professional hitter. There's Justin Morneau. He just knows what he's doing. Very intelligent hitter also, Kadire.
And DeGrom blows him away with a high fastball. First strikeout for Jacob, 2 out.
And that is what DeGrom has really learned. Remember, we always mentioned how impressed we are how he keeps the ball down. He's learned to go up the ladder, Ronnie, now, and quickly out of the strike zone where you can't get hurt.
Well, here is Morneau, who has been quite the reclamation project this year. The last 3 seasons, the former MVP had a collective .256 batting average with 40 home runs in the 3 years. Well, this year, he's leading the National League in batting at .316. He's got 15 home runs, 72 driven in.
It is a very tight race. That batting title, it's very much up in the air.
And Morneau takes it low. Cold Hard Facts brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. And you see how tight it is.
That is extremely tight. Anybody can win it.
Josh Harrison's been battling an ankle injury, sitting right behind Morneau in that race.
His teammate Corey Dickerson is on the periphery of that race too. He just does not have enough at bats.
Dickerson hitting .313, but probably will not get to the required 502 plate appearances. Nolan Arenado would be next. DeGrom's worked ahead of all 3 hitters in this inning. 1-2 on Morneau. And he pops one up in foul ground. Campbell Gets there in time to make the catch and finish off DeGrom's 1-2-3 opening inning. Mets come to bat in the bottom of the first with no score. Out of fashion.
Was that Hunter S. Thompson? No.
It's our buddy Chez with the hat. Nice. Here's your Geico starting lineup for the Mets tonight. Daniel Murphy back in there after missing 13 games. Curtis Granderson, 5th straight game in the 6-hole. It served him well. He had the big hit for the Mets last night. Matt Dendecker, after missing 2 games, back in the lineup hitting 8th. No David Wright tonight. David's shoulder acting up. We'll find out more about that later as the Mets face rookie right-hander Christian Bergman.
Well, his Toyota numbers do not tell you that he was the 740th pick in 2010 in the 24th round. He replaced Lyles, who pitched last night's game, in the rotation. That's when he got his shot.
Well, Lyles, you remember, broke his left hand, and then after Bergman made 3 starts, he broke his left hand on a line drive back to the mound. So a little ugly symmetry there for the pitching poor Rockies.
It's like Moonstruck. My hand, my hand.
Juan Lagares 1 for 4 last night, has an 8-game hitting streak going, his 12th straight game batting leadoff, and he pops one up into right center. And Michael Kadire takes charge of it for the first out.
And we'll take a look at the Rocky defense, and that's always brought to you by Coors Light. Dickerson, Blackman, Kadire. Kadire just off the disabled list, as Gary told you, at the home run the other day. Arenado is going to win another Gold Glove over there at third base, and William Rosario just recently off, back in the lineup.
So here's the return of Daniel Murphy. His last game was August 24th in Los Angeles. He hit in the last 5 games before he suffered the calf injury that knocked him out of action. At first, Murph was hoping it would be a 1 or 2 day thing, but as Keith will tell you, calves are difficult injuries to deal with, especially if you've never had one before. And so Murphy spent the full 15 days on the DL in foul ground. That'll go out of play.
Well, they can tell you, you know, don't bust it, don't run hard to first base. You know, we'll hold you up on scoring on a double, but your initial reaction out of the box, Daniel being very gentlemanly there, retrieving a helmet for Rosario. That initial burst out of the box, all that stress goes right on that calf to bust out of the box, or when you get your lead at first or second. It's hard to monitor that.
Murphy comes back into the lineup, 7th in the National League in batting, and still tied for 5th in base hits. He was going to have a shot at 200 hits had he not gotten hurt. He's at 159, so that's pretty much off the table now with 18 games remaining, including tonight. But he has had himself a terrific offensive year. Christian Bergman, 26 years old. He and Jacob DeGrom were about a month apart and 15 rounds apart in the 2010 draft.
Well, Bergman's hard to figure. He kind of slings it up there. He doesn't have any pitch that will wow you, but he doesn't walk anybody, doesn't strike out anyone, makes you put it in play.
Certainly not overpowering.
And that was the case literally in his last start against the Giants. He had no walks and no strikeouts in 6 innings. That's a rarely accomplished feat. He got the victory in that game. He made 3 starts back in June and did not pitch well, but the 3 starts he's made since coming back from the DL, he's been much better. 2-0, 3.57. So he's going in the right direction. Murphy pops one up. Morneau tracking it. Rosario looking for it, and it goes in the crowd.
You know what's interesting, guys, is that in this day and age, so difficult for someone who doesn't throw 95 miles an hour to ever get a shot. Now, when you watch Bergman's motion, it doesn't get any simpler than this. Tiny little toe tap, the knee up to the glove, and no push off at all. Kind of stands up straight like you're throwing BP.
He averages a shade under 89 miles an hour with his fastball. It's kind of Dylan G territory.
Yeah. Got the Captain Morgan facial hair.
I kind of like it. I like that look. I look like D'Artagnan, that little musketeer look.
8th pitch of this at bat coming up to Murphy, and Daniel takes it low and in. Full count. Eric Campbell hitting 3rd in the order, waiting on deck.
Really taking that hole between short and 3rd. Nolan Arenado at 3rd base.
That's Murph's spot. 3-2, and he hits one in the air to right center. Kadire playing over that way. Wind blowing the ball in. It's done that on a couple of foul pop-ups and did on that fly ball as well, and that's the 2nd out.
No, I still think, though, that there's a spot for a guy like Bergman in a rotation. We see it in Washington with Tanner Roark. He's a guy that never was supposed to get his shot, and he's made the most of it.
I think Dylan G's a classic example of that. He was a 21st round draft pick. Never busted the radar gun, but has carved out a nice career for himself. Well, the Nats won last night to open up an 8-game lead in the National League East, and they're up early on the Braves again. That's Jordan Zimmerman against Urban Santana tonight. Braves, meanwhile, have fallen a game and a half off the pace in the wild card behind the Pirates.
Pirates has moved right in there.
Quickly 0-2 to Campbell.
They really bounced back, the Pirates, after getting swept by the Cardinals just recently. They could have folded their tent, and they're still plugging away.
Meanwhile, the Milwaukee Brewers in complete free fall. They've lost 12 of 13. Their starting pitchers during the 13 games have a 6.95 ERA, and if you take Mike Fiers out, 7.91. Campbell grounds one right at the shortstop Rutledge. And a wide throw. Morneau can't make the tag, and Campbell is safe at first. Routine play, and Josh Rutledge, who's been playing shortstop with Tulowitzki out of the lineup, just sailed the throw.
Oh, he just missed him.
Good job by Campbell there. That was like the reverse limbo, the way he did that. Outstanding.
Duck. Cost the Rockies the out, so it's an error charge to Rutledge, and the Mets have a 2-out base runner for Lucas Duda.
What'd you say once? That's a la-di-da error, isn't it?
Yes.
Just not lack of concentration.
Just throw a 2 sidearm. Whenever the ball runs down the line towards home plate from an infielder, they're throwing too much sidearm. And there is the old shifto right there on the right side.
Well, same situation last night in the first inning. Duda drilled a double into the right field corner to get the Mets their first run. Duda had gone 166 at bats without a double. That's kind of weird, right? And in that 166 at bats, he had 13 home runs. You'd figure one of them would hit the wall at some point, right? Gets jammed and fouls it off, 1-1.
This should be a pretty good matchup for Lucas. You got a sinker ball pitcher And sinker ball pitchers like to throw down in the strike zone, and that's the strength of Lucas Duda. So we'll see how he fares tonight.
Lucas third in the National League with 27 home runs, sixth in the league with 81 runs driven in. Campbell at first and 2 down. And Bergman's 1-1 is fouled away. Christian Bergman, an anteater. Cal Irvine.
You were shocking me there. Turk Wendell and other stories I was thinking
If
of.
he'd gone to Santa Cruz, I would have told you he was a banana slug.
And they are. I grew up with the banana slugs. They're huge.
The real banana slug.
Yes, Northern California. There in spring when it's real damp, and they are as yellow as a banana. That's why they're called the banana slug. Al. I used to be cruel to them when I was a young kid.
Don't go there.
I can only imagine.
They can't get away.
Well, they're slugs.
By the way, there's banana for the color and a slug for their mobility. Both aptly named.
Bergman 20 pitches deep in this first inning. Campbell at first and 2 out. And Duda fouls it back.
Good cut.
That beard, it's like a Van Dyke, right?
Yes. Oh, there you go.
Kind of like a Dutch master.
There's
Change up outside, 2-2.
Beards are the norm now. I don't know how you can play with them in the middle of summer. Tries to go with a changeup away.
Look how close to the plate Lucas is. He's right on top.
Vermeer?
There you go.
Rembrandt?
Van Dyke.
To be an explorer, he could go any which way.
Just trying to stay right where he is on a big league mound. 2-2. And Duda cranks one to right field over toward the corner. Kadire going back, and right at the wall he makes the catch. Duda didn't get all of it. Almost had enough. Fence has not moved in yet. And Bergman able to survive the first inning. No score after 1.
Just got in on him enough, or was it on the end? I wasn't sure. Nice play by Gadaya there. Getting there, not afraid of the wall.
Well, that makes up for the ball due to hit by him last night. Nolan Arenado cranks one foul.
Arenado swinging a very hot bat. Came in here red hot. Had a good night last night. Home run. Hit the ball hard 4 times last night. Had just great swings. Great at bats.
4 home runs now in his last 5 games. 18 for the year. Now 6th in the National League in slugging percentage.
This nice pitch to counter by Lagares and DeGrom. Came inside with the fastball. They're trying to pitch him away and a lot of slow stuff. Get in on his hands. Break that bat that's hot.
Here, here.
DeGrom had a 1-2-3 opening inning. Arenado, Dickerson, and Rosario here in the second. And he yanks that one foul.
I said Lagares and DeGrom. I was trying, D'Arnaud and DeGrom. Sorry. The little D's.
I mean, I know Lagares can do a lot.
I know he's fast, but he can't get in there and catch it and go back to center field.
Now, we know that Gary has all the games for the rest of the season. How many do you have?
I don't know. I don't count like you guys.
Okay.
Arenado reaching for that fastball.
I'm not trying to be. But mine is complicated because if I'm not here,
I know
I'm
you're
somewhere
working.
else.
I'm talking about, I'll be specific, Met games.
Don't know.
You don't count.
I don't. Yeah.
1, 2.
I know. But I'm from the school. If you're counting, then it
goes slower that way. Flores charging and Duda stretching, and he stayed on the bag. Well, that's a terrific play by Duda to save Flores an error.
On the run throw across. Well, the footwork's not grand. That's something that Lucas needs to work on in the offseason. I'm sure he's going to be living in Florida this offseason. I'm sure he's going to be doing a lot of work down there in St. Lucie.
Well, Walt Weiss is coming out and considering challenging the call, probably wondering whether Duda stayed on the bag. It certainly appeared he did.
Pretty funny. Had a little bit of a chuckle there with Field and Colbert.
They're just laughing that, I got to be out here doing this. You know that. I'm not just.
He's already gotten the thumbs down from his bench coach, Tom Runnels, who has seen, or whose video coordinator has seen that.
There it is. That's Tom Runnels, the bench coach.
Now Corey Dickerson with 1 out, and he fouls back the first pitch fastball. One thing we saw last night with Dickerson, he swings hard.
Big uppercut swing. That's no reason. That's why he's got 22 home runs. He lets it go. See how many punch outs he has on the year with that kind of swing.
Off speed pitch dribbled, and that may stay fair, and now it goes back foul. Wow, that ball went from foul to fair and back to foul again.
That's the old sidewinder. Those are always just so tricky.
Well, we gave you a preview of tonight's Cold Hard Facts brought to you by Frostbrewed Coors Light. Perhaps they can come up in full now. Here they are.
There we go.
Jacob DeGrom's last 12 starts, just brilliant.
And just the base on balls have gone down all the way to 2.4.
Got the changeup grip there, doesn't he, Ronnie?
Yeah, and just 2 home runs is nothing for all the innings he's pitched.
And 10 straight starts now. He's walked 2 or fewer. So the walks have pretty much disappeared.
He's been just outstanding.
He had the one difficult start in L.A. after he came back from the disabled list, gave up the home run to Adrian Gonzalez, but now the 2 starts since then, he's settled right back into where he was before.
And just think, when they called him up, they were going to have him in the bullpen.
Change of plans. Rafael Montero, who is going to be in the rotation at that point, will pitch tomorrow night. And Montero, remember, came up and didn't pitch well. Came back a second time, made a very good start right before he went down again. So looking forward to see Montero again tomorrow. That pushes everybody else in the rotation back a day. So So Bartolo Colon will open the series against the Nats on Thursday. 2-2 now to Dickerson. Corey Dickerson having a breakout year at age 25. .575 slugging percentage, which would be right near the top in the league if he had enough at bats. This may be the first year since I think it's 1991 that nobody in baseball has a 600 slugging percentage. And you hear stats like this over and over now. First time since the 80s, the early 90s, and it just gives an indication of where offense is in baseball.
And think of the new ballparks too. A lot of bandboxes.
Two coming to Dickerson. And fouls off the off-speed pitch. Two from DeGrom. Slapped down toward third, a foul ball. Nice grab by Stu Cole, Rockies' third base coach.
UNC Charlotte, 794 minor league wins as a manager. Stu Cole.
Dickerson has been the prime beneficiary, and there's Stu, of the injuries that have felled Carlos Gonzalez and ended his season. Dickerson getting more playing time as a result of Cargo's injuries, and he has taken full advantage. Again, the 2-2. Another foul ball. Rockies had recently pulled even for fourth place in the NL West after spending the entire second half of the year in last place, but back in the cellar in the NL West with their loss last night. Bounced down to Duda, and he handles himself for the second out. Of course, at the top of that division, the Dodgers now with a 3.5 game lead over the Giants, and Clayton Kershaw did his thing again last night. 18-3, 1.67.
Only one earned run last night, correct?
Well, 2 unearned runs. Do you see that play? The three throwing errors on one play by the Dodgers. You have to see it to believe it. Fly ball to center. Puig tries to throw behind the runner at first, throws it away. Ellis backs up, throws to second, throws it away. Hanley picks it up in center, heaves one home about 30 feet wide. 3 errors on one play, 2 runs scored.
And as the last run was coming to home, A.J. Ellis threw it to Kershaw, was covering home, and he olayed it. He said, you know what, this is a bad play. I am not sacrificing my 18 wins and 3 losses.
Turned out to be a judicious decision because they scored 9 runs.
He is just, I mean, it's, what's his ERA, 1.6 something?
1.67, yeah.
Huh.
It's almost impossible.
I saw it happen. 1.53 I saw for an entire season.
Willian Rosario making his first start since coming back from a wrist injury, and he lifts one to right center field toward the gap. Granderson's not going to get there, and it hops over the wall for a ground rule double. So Willian Rosario has the first Rockies base hit, an opposite field double, his 22nd of the year.
They want the ball up. It is up. He stayed nice and level on that ball. Good hitting.
Now that ball right there, because of the way it rushes out of Coors Field, that's probably a home run in Coors Field.
Well, yeah, right center field is the friendliest part of Coors Field. I think it's what, 370 to the gap, and if you take away 10% for the air, you're talking about 340. Here's Josh Rutledge, 2 for 3 last night. Rosario at second and 2 down. And takes a fastball for a strike.
Always beware of the guy who made an error the inning before. They put a little more concentration into their at bat trying to make up for it.
Well, the Mets are still trying to figure out how to get Rutledge out. He's 8 for 18 against the Mets. Of course, Rutledge getting playing time because of Tulowitzki's injuries. And, you know, there's been so much conversation about Tulowitzki and Cargo and whether the Rockies are going to trade them. Any team would have to be wary of both of those guys' injury history at this point. Year after year, they seem to have their seasons shortened by significant injury.
I was thinking one of the biggest at bats last night was Rutledge struck out against Buddy Carlisle.
It was the only batter Carlisle faced. Toward the hole, Flores able to smother it, and that's the play to keep the run from scoring. A nice play by Flores. They tell you with 2 out and a runner at second, just make sure you keep it on the infield.
Why? Well, it's pretty obvious. It prevents the run from scoring here. So kudos to Flores right here. That was his intent, and he succeeded. Nicely done.
So Rosario has to stop at third. An infield single for Rutledge, who just keeps on piling up hits against the Mets. And now the number 8 hitter, DJ LeMahieu, who had 2 hits last night. Runners at the corners and 2 out. And LeMahieu takes one high for ball 1. Rosario a 2-out double. Rutledge an infield hit. And a fastball strike, 1-1. DeGrom had early jams in his game in Miami his last time out. Was able to generate a couple of key double plays, including one that he started. Here just needs an out to get through the inning. And that's off the corner, 2-1.
I mean, you don't like to pitch like this in the second inning, but you have to know that the pitcher's up next. You don't give in here 2-1. It's a real good time for that little slider of his that he can throw for a strike.
Mayhew's not a bad little hitter and knows how to put the ball in play. And DeGrom keeps the fastball away, 3-1. View from the Acela Club. What are we having for dinner there? It looks good. DeGrom behind 3-1 against the number 8 hitter, and LeMahieu takes a strike. Full count.
Interesting choice by LeMahieu, I guess, because he's hitting 8. Maybe looking for a breaking ball.
Okay.
Think he's getting hit pitch behind. My feeling is don't let him sneak a fastball by you.
Now Rutledge will be running. 3-2 coming. Struck him out. DeGrom just blew away LeMahieu after falling behind in the count, and he gets through 2-out trouble in the second. Second strikeout for DeGrom. Just a little extra hurry. reservoir. Been around that a few times.
Yes. Of course, you've got the boathouse there. It has a great lunch right on the pond.
You don't usually see this view looking south. You know?
Yeah, like,
usually you see it looking north.
Yes.
This is lovely.
I can hear the song in my head right now. 110th Street, right?
You've got Tavern on the Green has been reopened. And
have you been there?
No, I have not. I've got to go there and take a look at it. I've heard really terrific things about it.
Travis d'Arnaud leads off for the Mets in the home second. Travis 1 for 4 last night. He got the 9th inning rally started with a ringing double against LaTroy Hawkins. Travis now 12 for 24 over his last 6 games, up to 246 for the year. And the extra base hits just keep on coming. He leads the Mets in extra base hits since his return from Las Vegas. And he lifts this one into right center. And Blackman will call it and catch it, 1 out. d'Arnaud, among other things, leading National League rookies in home runs.
What a turnaround, huh? From a disaster in April to going down to the minor leagues, getting it back together and coming back and really showing you why he was the main man in that trade.
2 trades.
Toronto.
Yep.
Traded for 2 different Cy Young Award winners. Here's Granderson.
And the big shift. They don't play, the Colorado Rockies do not play the second baseman out in the right field grass. Interesting.
Granderson continuing his resurgence last night. He had the biggest hit in that 9th inning. The RBI triple to tie the game. Then he came home with the winning run on a sac fly. And thinking about a bunt with the shift on, but Bergman almost hit him.
Cutter inside. It just was a follower, chaser.
It's like, here, bunt that one.
And he's going to push the bunt, and if it stays fair, it's an easy hit. And it stays fair. Well, Granderson doing what so many left-hand hitters have refused to try to do, take advantage of the shift and take the easy hit. And it's the Mets' first hit of the night.
You know what Curtis does right here? A lot of people that try to bunt for a base hit, they think they've got to be out of the box. He squared around like a sacrifice, pushed it over there. There's no play for Arenado.
You got all day to run to first base, as long as you make sure the pitcher can't handle it. So 1 out and 1 on. Here's Wilmer Flores. Flores now 0 for his last 10 after going 0 for 3 last night.
You do that as a hitter twice a month. It's 12 hits.
I would do it every day until they got out of the shift. Just take what they're giving you. It's the football mentality, right?
Yeah.
If they're bunching you up at the line, throw the ball. If they're
don't just throw it, play action.
Well, that's fine. But I mean, it's all about taking what the defense gives you, right? And I'm interested in this from you guys' perspective, having played the game, now that the shifts have become such an enormous piece of the game. And this year, exponentially more than ever. Do you think it requires in spring training some kind of overriding message about how to combat it? Flores golfs one out to right center, and over comes Blackman and makes the reaching catch for the second out. You know what I mean? Yeah. So many hitters have just refused to alter their game as a result of the shift. You saw Granderson do it there. Does the message need to be sent, particularly to these left-hand pull hitters, that you've got to do this in order to work that shift in your favor?
I think it's something you can certainly work on in spring, you know, being able to bunt, and like what Granderson did. You're not trying to teach a drag bunt, you know, where they're running to first base. They can square around like Granderson did and bunt down the third base line. But I think situationally it has to be in the right situation. Kingman comes to mind, Gary. Big big shift on Kingman and playing way deep. And I remember Red Shandy's Dave bunted, Kingman bunted for a base hit down the third base line because Ken Reitz, our third baseman, was playing almost in the outfield grass. And Red Shandy's was happy he bunted because I'd rather have him bunt than get a home run. So you want Duda to swing the bat. It depends on the hitter. Now, the only guys that they really shift on left-handed for us is for the Mets is really Duda and Granderson. Now, Granderson, I have no issue with it, even though Granderson's got some pop. Duda, I'd rather have him swing the bat.
Doesn't part of it depend who's up behind you? In other words, if you're in a strong batting order where you've got two quality hitters behind you, wouldn't you take that every time and let the next guy drive you in?
Well, that's part of it. I think what Keith was talking about makes some sense too. Let's say Duda's leading off an inning, and they're giving it to him, and it's a 0-0 game in the eighth. Well, okay, yeah, you'd love him to hit a home run, but boy, getting on base is something too.
And another thing too, if Duda's red hot, you don't want him bunting. If he's in a slump and he's struggling,
how about facing a lefty?
Certainly, yeah. Oh, okay, yeah, that's a whole different ball of wax there. Yes.
I mean, Anthony Rizzo is one of the best home run hitters in the league right now, and he did it twice in one game. Dickerson over to get the fly ball hit by Dendecker. 3 fly ball outs in the inning. 6 outs, all by fly ball for Bergman. No score after 2. State Audi dealers and the all-new Audi A3. Jacob DeGrom, 40 pitches through the first 2 innings. Had to work around some 2-out trouble in the second. He'll face the opposing pitcher Christian Bergman, leading off in the third. Bergman 1 for 11 to begin his major league career. After Bergman, the top of the batting order, Blackman and Kadire for the Rockies, who on the 7th of May were in first place in the National League West.
That's a long time ago.
8 games over 500. Everything was going well. Troy Tulowitzki was hitting about 900. And then it all fell apart. Injuries and poor pitching. Flores has it near the bag and throws out Bergman, 1 away.
Flores does a very good job staying in front of the ball. Doesn't get fancy Dan. I like that. Uses 2 hands. Very sure with all of his routine ground balls where a lot of guys can get loose. He does not.
So they're, you've been watching now for a month as Flores has gotten consistent playing time at shortstop. There was a lot of question going into this experiment whether Wilmer could be an everyday shortstop in the major leagues. From what you've seen now for the last month, what do you think?
I think he could be an everyday shortstop. His range is not great, but it's not poor.
Duda handles Blackman's ground ball, and DeGrom covers for the second out.
And remember in the beginning how his footwork was kind of clumsy?
Choppy, yeah.
I think it was probably nerves. I think he's gotten past that now. He's very sure with his feet. I haven't seen enough of him in the hole, deep in the hole yet, to see his arm on a consistent basis. Hasn't been that many balls hit to his right where he has to go and make the long throw. He's made them so thus far. So if he hits, shoot, you got to find a spot for him.
There's Michael Kadire with 2 out.
Well, when I look at him, and I think that was the key, Keith, is that, you know, if he's giving you Johnny Peralta numbers, then yes, he's an everyday shortstop.
So you're talking 15 to 20 home runs a year, that kind of thing?
Yeah, driving in 60 to 80 runs, yeah.
I would rather Peralta's not that great a clutch hitter. He strikes out a lot. I don't want Flores to strike out a lot. I want Flores to be a contact hitter. I want him to hit the ball in the clutch, hit line drives, hit doubles, and he'll hit his home runs. If he hits 10 to 15, that's fine.
Yeah, that was the wrong person for me to use. You know, I guess I was trying to just say an offensive type of shortstop.
To center field, Lagares measures it for the third out. So a quick inning for Jacob DeGrom as he sits down the Rockies 1-2-3 in the top of the third. Still no score at Citi Field. Lead off against Christian Bergman, and we check in with Kevin Burkhardt. Kevin?
Well, I've got a new toy today, Gary. I don't know why it came today, but it did. So it's a little remote camera, so we're going to take you around and show you my vantage point from around this ballpark, why I always roam around. And I had to start showing you my man Raul here, who's up in the Acela Club. You know when I'm up here and you always see the tea kettle or the coffee pot? When I came up here years ago, he never, ever asked, just brought it out, what can I get for you? Never. He's been beautiful. And he's born and raised in Astoria. What, 21 years in New York Sanitation, right?
Oh, yeah, 21 years, yeah.
And worked at Jet games back at Shea. He's been around forever. This is one of the greatest guys, one of the fiber of here. Look at this setup. You tell me why I like it out here. They got the coffee, the milk, the cream, your choice of sugars, and then you look at the field. It's a nice angle out here. I know you've always seen the Acela Club guys, but I figure this should be your next vantage point for the games out here, right?
Michael Kadire with a diving catch on the drive hit by Jacob DeGrom for the first out.
Heck of a play right there by Kadire. laying out. Beautiful backhand.
Kadir's got 4 putouts now in this ball game out of the first 9 hitters.
Well, I'm all for taking over Kevin's vantage point there at the Acela when he steps aside.
For a game like well, you going to go out there permanently or for one of the games?
Well, I mean, if Raul is going to be able to serve us,
oh yeah,
you know, so nicely, and it's a beautiful terrace there on a summer night for us to call a game from, don't you think? I mean, Kevin looks so comfortable up there.
I got to tell you, Raul's no joke, guys. It's quality.
Hey, Kev, have you ever had a home run come up there while you're having your tea?
I have not. I have not. That would be pretty cool. This is a shot, though.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing too many home runs sail up to the Acela Club.
Didn't Cabrera hit one off G up here? A close scare? Or am I wrong on that one?
I'm sure you're right. It's not quite Tommy Agee in the upper deck at Shea, but it's a pretty good poke. Lagares flied out to right his first time up.
Get it together.
So, Kevin, as you take us around the ballpark tonight, is this something of a farewell tour around the ballpark for you?
You know, someone asked me a little while ago how that. I should probably look at the camera. I am in television, guys. Someone asked me a while ago how this all started moving around thing, and I think it's just because I like checking out the different parts of the ballpark. So, you know, the people around here have always been amazing, and so if we can get them on TV, it's kind of cool. But yeah, why not have a little fun with it, right there?
Arenado throws out Lagares for the second out. Well, it's. I'm starting to get a little wistful about Kevin's impending departure. So, you know, the more that we can take advantage of his different vantage points and his unique perspective, I think the better off we are.
Kev.
Hi, Keith.
How are you?
Fantastic.
In all your travels with us and going around baseball, what is your favorite park on the road? And is there any special nuance in the park, cubby hole somewhere that is your favorite?
Yeah, I think there's a few of them.
Murphy toward the middle. LeMahieu with a nice backhand play, but Murph beats it out.
Well, Murphy running on that calf that he hurt, having to go hard on this ground ball.
He did. He's called smelling that hit. So he looks okay there. Clearly beat it.
I'll say real quick while we wait for Campbell, guys. The one thing I like about being out here or being in the outfield at any park, I think you really can. I don't know if it totally translates on TV all the time. I think you could really appreciate the speed and how much space these guys have to cover. I think you get that out here that maybe you don't behind the plate.
Campbell right along the line. Morneau does a nice job to make sure it doesn't go foul and gets the out. It's well played by Morneau to end the inning. We played 3 at Citi Field. Mets and Rockies, no score. DeGrom's fine rookie season. Get 4 tickets for just $48 to all games through September 17th. To purchase 4 field level tickets for just $48, get to Mets.com/DeGrom. DeGrom faces Justin Morneau leading off in the 4th, and it's lifted to left center. Easy as pie for Lagares. 1 out. So DeGrom's now retired 5 in a row with minimal heavy lifting.
I'll tell you, when you start an inning off and it's 1 pitch, 1 out, it's one of the nicest feelings for a pitcher. They always say the double play is the pitcher's best friend, but that 1 pitch, 1 out to start the inning, you're like, whoa.
Especially when it's the leading hitter that you get out. Now it's Arenado, grounded out to short his first time up. Well, Jacob DeGrom is starting tonight. The Mets have 17 games left after this, so 3 more starts after this one for Jacob. He's got 7 wins, 2.79 ERA, and certainly is a prime candidate for National League Rookie of the Year. We'll see what he's done during this stretch of 12 starts, up among the best in all of baseball. And so he's right in the middle of that Rookie of the Year conversation. We just saw Billy Hamilton in Cincinnati, and he certainly has to be considered the front runner. What's interesting this time of year, the Mets over the last few seasons, and they haven't had winning records, but they've had individuals put together major accomplishments, whether it was Jose Reyes winning a batting title, R.A. Dickey winning 20 games, and Terry Collins has been the manager through all that, and he's put those guys in position to try and accomplish those feats. So I asked Terry today whether the Mets would go out of their way with DeGrom to try and get him to the Rookie of the Year, or whether it's different with a rookie pitcher.
Like with like giving him an extra start. I don't think that's going to happen, because when you saw Reyes, you wanted to make sure that you gave him enough at bats to do what he had to do, try to protect his average if you had to. R.A. Dickey, of course, you're trying to give him as many starts as he could.
Arenado drives one to left. That's going to be down off the base of the wall. Played by Dendecker, and Arenado pulls into second with a 1-out double.
He is red hot, Arenado. Look at him stay level on that high pitch. I love to see that.
33rd double of the year for Arenado.
So I guess what I'm saying about DeGrom is that he's not going to get any extra chances. He's going to have this start 3 more, and he's going to have to max them out. And I would love to see him get to 10 wins. He deserves it.
And I think even more than that now, there's been so much conversation in recent days about protecting the young pitchers, not, having anybody throw too many pitches down the stretch of the season. I think it may go the other way, that he may be shortened a little bit. And you don't know at the edges what that's going to mean in terms of his chances for Rookie of the Year. But my impression is that as an organization, they'll be happy if he wins it, but it's not a priority. The priority is to get him through the season healthy and ready for next year.
Well, it's always nice for the organization and the individual player to have that, okay, we got Rookie of the Year. But in the scheme of things, you want this young man, DeGrom, out there for the next 10 years pitching for you. That's the key.
You'll take 3 to 5. I mean, 10 is a long way out. I know what you're saying, though, Keith, but the other part of me, and this is from an individual thinking about team of next season, I'd like to finish the season. I want to finish all my starts. So next year when I go the full 6 months with the big league club, I know I can make it to the end. You don't know if you can make it if you're stopped 10 days before the end of the season.
And I don't think that's going to happen. I think they're going to let him make all his starts. My question is if he's, I don't know, limited to a 5-inning start here, an 85-pitch start there, does that change the dynamic at all?
I don't have any problem with that. It might change the dynamic as far as the voters for Rookie of the Year, but I don't have any problem with that. I just think, he's in such a nice groove. Let him keep going. So this winter, when he works, he comes back to spring training loaded, ready for bear, to have a huge season.
It's ahead on Corey Dickerson, 1-2. Dickerson grounded out his first time up, and he is late on that fastball. And DeGrom has his 3rd strikeout. 2 out.
Running fastball, got on a chase.
Keith got on it the first game yesterday. Anything up in the strike zone. He's got an uppercut.
Yep.
Can't hit it.
You go up and down the ladder on him. If you go down, you got to make sure you go in the dirt, because he loves that low ball.
Now Willeen Rosario. DeGrom got ahead of him 0-2, and Rosario drove one to right center for a ground rule double. That was the first hit for the Rockies in the second, and a knee-high strike.
He's got a very well-groomed beard, Rosario. That it is like a razor's edge on that. Beautiful job. Look at that.
Requires a lot of upkeep.
That is meticulous work.
Yesterday it was tweeners. Today it's facial hair.
Popped up. Duda waiting for it to come down. And that retires the side. So DeGrom works around the double from Arenado and keeps it a scoreless game going to the bottom of the fourth. Game, and as this season winds through its final weeks, thought we'd take a look at some of the big moments for each of the Mets. And this was Duda's day. This was in Los Angeles. His 2-home run, 5 RBI afternoon. First one out of sight, and the second one only barely within sight. Way too hot.
I mean, at that ballpark, if you're going 20, 22 rows up, you just don't see that. You can go a whole year and not see a ball up in that area.
If you almost hit it over the pavilion, you're in specialized territory.
Willie Stargell will do it a couple times.
I think Piazza might have done it once. Duda hit one to the fence in the right field corner that Kadire caught in the first inning. And when he did, I made brief mention of the fact that all of a sudden now there is more conversation about once again shortening the dimensions at Citi Field. Sandy Alderson alluded to it in his comments yesterday. Change up outside 1-1.
What did he say at the area where they want to move it in?
Particularly right center field.
Granderson would have had, was it 7 more home runs? Was it 7 or 9? 7, I believe.
I didn't hear that exact number quoted, but the figuring is that you have 2 hitters signed long term. David Wright for 6 more years, Curtis Granderson for 3 more years, and for both of them, right center field is a place where they could hit for more power if the fences were shorter. At least that's the theory. And I guess my question is, does that make sense to you on an organizational level, especially when you consider that the Mets are looking to hang their hat on their young pitching?
My first thought was, I'm sure Matt Harvey's going to have a comment about moving the fences in. Listen, I'm a former pitcher. If you're going to have a team based on pitching and hopefully some real good defense, I would leave it where it is. It's already been brought in once. I mean, what if you bring them in now and you still got a boatload of F9s? Then what do you do? You're not assured that it's going to, you play the most games here. I get that, 81. So it's going to help you the most. But what if, the other team plays here?
Yep. Other teams don't have a problem hitting the ball out of the ballpark here when they come in, too.
I'm more interested in the global notion of this. It's an era of diminished offense. I think we all know that, and I don't see that that's going to change unless they juice the ball or they make appreciable rule changes, lower the mound, whatever.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. So let's just say that we're in the era we're in now. Call it the post-steroid or call it whatever you want. Offense is now diminished. The theory through the steroid era was that you had to have power because, well, power ruled. Now that you're in a lessened offensive environment, should chasing the home run be more important, less important, equally important? Or should teams like the Mets, who play in a pitcher-friendly ballpark, be looking to create offense in different ways?
Well, my first thought, Gary, what you're saying there is that I think you should chase the home run if you have home run hitters. In this ballpark, how about out hitting the other team every night? How about base runners and base hits and clutch hitting? And clutch hitting, then it's going to get a whole new firestorm started. But 2 out hitting, how about that?
Darno pops one up, and Blackman is there.
I'd like to know what the number is if you out hit the opponent.
Well, in fact, we asked Elias about that the other day because the organizational philosophy here is based on if you out-homer the opposition, historically you win about 73% of the time, and that's pretty much stayed the same. So I asked Elias, historically, when you out-hit the opponent, how often do you win? The answer is 78% of the time, even more than when you out-homer the opposition. So there's certainly a case to be made for both philosophies. I just wonder if the home runs are harder to come by on a grand scale, and you don't play in a great home run hitter's ballpark, are you better off changing the dimensions to chase the home runs, or just try and do it a different way? I don't know the answer to that. I just think it's an interesting question.
I would just like to know where the hit and run disappeared to. Can we get back to that? Can we get back to kids now in college and high school not trying to hit home runs, be line drive hitters? Now that seem to have a handle on false power. I mean, you could have a very exciting product out there, and I'll allude to the 80 Cardinals. Everybody, whenever I say the 80 Cardinals, they all say, well, it was AstroTurf. Well, you know what? The grass is cut so close today. It's like AstroTurf. Am I right, Ronnie?
Yeah,
everything is so quick. You could have a team in a big ballpark tailored around speed and line drive hitters. I know they're hard to find because everybody wants the home run. Everybody wants that ESPN moment. Can we get the game back there a little bit? I would love to see that.
1-2 to Granderson. He goes down swinging to end the inning. First strikeout for Christian Bergman, who had no strikeouts in his last start. We played 4. No score. beautiful scenic views of the city today, haven't we? This is as colorful and gorgeous an overhead shot as you're going to see.
Wow. What's that down on Times Square?
Yes, it looks like it. No, that's got to be. Well, maybe you're right, Ron.
Josh Rutledge leading off in the 5th inning. Rutledge had an infield hit his first time up. Rockies no runs, 3 hits. The Mets no runs, 2 hits. Jacob DeGrom and Christian Bergman, a couple of rookies going head to head. Lagares picks off the line drive by Rutledge for the first out.
Well, it's very similar to the kind of game you had last night. Not a lot of offense. Pitchers kind of weaving their way through the lineups. Not a lot of balls hit hard.
Here's LeMahieu, the number 8 hitter, struck out his first time up. Well, DeGrom at least is having a more efficient start than he did his last outing in Miami. Went 6, didn't allow an earned run, but it took him 114 pitches to get there. Here he is at 63 pitches with 1 out in the 5th. And quickly ahead on LeMahieu, 0-2. That brings us to our Jeep 5th inning recap. And all we have to show you is
goose eggs.
The pitching on both sides. 2 26-year-olds born a month apart, taken in the 2010 draft. LeMahieu caught looking. 4 strikeouts for DeGrom, 2 out in the inning.
That was just 3 fastballs. Go sit down. 2 fastballs up and 1 paint.
And that, my friends, is our first Cholula of the night. 96. That is the threshold for the Cholula flamethrower.
I think, like the fences, I think we're changing that every once in a while.
You think we need to up the Cholula threshold?
Yeah.
Oh, nice angle there.
Turned towards Lagares in center field, like 45-degree angle.
Now, why would he do that?
Well, it's a right-handed hitter, right? So you got to favor the ball to your right as opposed to the ball down the line.
But what happens if it's hit to your left?
Well, he's close enough to the line. He needs to get a lot more spaces to his right than to his left.
I remember Greg Luzinski used to do that all the time in left field. He'd stand side saddle, and I never understood because, after all, there is a chance the ball might be hit the other way.
I'll ask Bo. Probably because he had a bad left leg. You know, he just wanted to rest that way. I think a lot of it for outfielders is how you feel comfortable, like how you feel fast.
DeGrom behind the opposing pitcher, 3-1. There's a strike.
Can get very boring out there in the outfield. That's why I was glad I was on the first baseman. You're always in the action.
3-2. Strike 3 call. Bergman caught looking. Back-to-back strikeouts for DeGrom to finish off the 5th. 5 strikeouts for Jacob. Halfway through, no score.
here at Citi Field, plus more reaction from the Giants on last night's loss against the Lions on Loudmouth, presented by Caesars Atlantic City, tomorrow at 5:30, only on SNY. Let's look at the Freedom Tower, all lit up on a Tuesday night.
So looking at the numbers for Mr. Bergman, his last 10 innings, he hasn't walked anyone, and he struck out one batter. His last batter he faced, Curtis Granderson.
And given up only 2 runs in those 10 innings. He'll face the lower third of the order in the home fifth. Flores, Dendecker, and DeGrom. Wilmer flied to center his first time up. Wilmer had his first ever walk-off RBI last night. Sacrifice fly that won it for the Mets, their 6th walk-off win of the year. And he got the appropriate mobbing afterward, become de rigueur. I mean, there was a time when you'd score the winning run in the bottom of the 9th and everybody would shake hands and go in the clubhouse.
There's a cold one. I mean, that's
now there's a chase involved, unless it's a walk-off home run, in which case they wait for you and mob you at home plate. But now there's the chase.
Yeah, I'm always afraid someone's going to get hurt, but you know, that's part of this generation's celebration. Go for it.
I mean, it's very exuberant. It's just interesting how those things have changed, you know.
Well, it was Kendrys Morales, right, who broke his ankle.
Yep.
Yes.
By jumping on home plate on a big home run walk off.
Flores pops one up, and LeMahieu waits for it. 1 out. Matt Dendecker coming up. Let's check in with Kevin.
Well, we've talked a lot about Corey Dickerson this series so far, not doing anything offensively tonight, but then again, who is? But he had an unbelievable story to tell me about his days playing ball in high school. He played 3 sports, basketball, football, baseball. After junior year basketball, he was at a baseball camp, and he said he felt something in his shoulder tear, so he got it checked out. Turns out that he tore partially his rotator cuff and his labrum. Well, he ended up still playing baseball that year. He was a pitcher, an overhand pitcher, said he threw pretty hard, and he ended up pitching sidearm that year, his junior year. But that isn't the craziest of it. I think something's going on here. Go ahead, Gary.
Dendecker gets it over the head of Dickerson in left field, and he's got himself a double.
Well, Dendecker's got popped to all fields here, and you think he's a little ping hitter, and guess what? You see the back of your jersey. And that's a double, nicely done by Dendecker.
Go ahead, Kev.
Sorry, guys, this is what happens when you turn your back on the action. Silly me. But just talking about Dickerson. So anyway, so he played that baseball season as a sidearm pitcher, got some surgery on his shoulder in June. And get this, he tells me and he swears that he played football that September. I said, wait a second, how is that even possible? He said, well, you know, it wasn't a crazy major surgery, at least they told me. And quite honestly, myself included, no one thought I'd be anything past high school. And so I played football, and then I played baseball my senior year. I didn't pitch again after that. But the guy's a major leaguer and came back and played sports 3 months after shoulder surgery. Craziness by Corey Dickerson.
And now having himself a season to really remark on. I mean, this is a guy that no one was really talking about when the year began, and all the attention early in the season went to his teammate Charlie Blackmon, who wound up making the All-Star team. And Dickerson's having an even better year. Kadire robbed DeGrom of a base hit with a beautiful diving catch in right center his first time up. And it's rolled out for LeMahieu. And he makes the play for the second out as Dendecker goes over to third. So where you're down at ground level in right field, Kev?
Yeah. I'm right behind, directly behind Michael Kadire right now.
Now, what is that view like?
It's great. I mean, you feel like the neat thing about these seats, you feel like you're right in the middle of the action, even though there's a fence in the way. It's a cool feeling. Even if the ball doesn't come your way, you're right there. And that's what kind of makes these special, because the warning track just kind of bleeds right into your feet. The cool thing about this tonight is my next report, I'm going to be 10 feet further in front to test out the moving of the fence theory.
Maybe you need a sandbox back there like they have in San Diego right behind the fence.
Yeah.
So Lagares will try and get that run in from third with 2 out. Juan is flied out and grounded out 0 for 2. And it takes a big cut at a breaking ball.
It was a hanging breaking ball, swung right through it. One to drive.
I was just thinking where Kevin's sitting. Is that the modern day version of the not hold gang, I guess?
That's Kevin's rooting section right there. So Kevin, when you sit down there, can you tell what kind of pitch is being thrown?
Not all the time, but a lot of the time you can. Yeah, it's a pretty good view here.
Boy, Bergman almost balked a little there. Undecided with he and his catcher. A couple of times it looked like he was going to move. That was a long time to stand in that position.
All it takes is a little flinch.
So I guess that's what you're talking about, Kevin. When you see a ball that quick out of Bergman's hands and a late swing by Lagares, that's the fastball.
Yeah, it's you could tell it looks. I think it does look even quicker out here. It happens so fast.
Lagares lays off the slider and it's 1-2. Murphy in his return to the lineup tonight, waiting on deck. Each team with 3 hits, no score as we play in the 5th.
Good grab. Lefty, Keith. Southpaw.
Got his Oakley hat on. Nice.
Be some team, right?
Like it was nothing. Den Decker at third and 2 out, 1-2 to Lagares. And that's just off the corner with the fastball. 2-2.
Well, I'll tell you, home plate umpire Jim Reynolds has had a good game. That pitch is awfully close, but it is off the plate.
Rosario trying to steal it. Reynolds wasn't buying. Seventh pitch of the at bat from Bergman to Lagares. He comes inside with a breaking ball and misses. Full count. City probables for tomorrow. Another couple of rookies. Tyler Matzik, who comes off a shutout of the Padres in his last start against Rafael Montero, who looks for that elusive first big league win. His last start was in the Pacific Coast League playoffs for Las Vegas. 3-2 coming, and Lagares lines one into left field, and the Mets grab the lead. Den Decker's in to score. Lagares drives in the first run of the night. 1-0 New York.
Well, he did not miss that hanger. Flat slider upstairs, right down the middle, and he stays on top. Base hits all you need. Mets on top. Nicely done, Juan.
A big 2-out hit for Lagares, his 45th run batted in. And the Mets have the early lead. We'll see if Lagares is going to keep on running. He's been doing plenty of that lately with Murphy at the plate. Lagares 8 stolen bases in his last 10 games after just 4 the previous 4-5 months. Murphy had an infield hit his last time up, and he takes just off the plate. Ball 1. Den Decker with the opposite field double. Got it over the head of Dickerson and comes around to score on Lagares' hit. Kev on the move. Waiting for that next venue. Where will it be?
I think he's leaving. Elvis left the building.
Well, he can't leave now. We got him covered.
Murphy lifts one to right, and Kadire circles in. That retires the side, but Lagares' 2-out hit puts the Mets in front. 1-0 New York as we go to the 6th. On SNY is brought to you by Chevy Youth Baseball. For the 4th year in a row, New York area Chevrolet dealers have partnered with local youth baseball leagues in an effort to give back to the community. Little Neck Douglaston Little League is just one of the many leagues benefiting from the Chevy Youth Baseball program. Charlie Blackmon leading off the 6th inning, bluffs a bunt, takes ball 1 from Jacob DeGrom, who has now been staked to a 1-0 lead. Third time around the batting order. Well, David Wright out of the lineup tonight because his shoulder was barking today. Went to see the doctor, and we should hear results after the game. Blackmon pops one up. In comes Dendecker to call off Flores, and he makes the grab for the first out. So 1 out and nobody on. Now Michael Kadire, who has struck out and flied out 0 for 2 tonight. DeGrom gave up a 2-out double to Rosario in the 2nd. Then an infield hit, but got through the inning by striking out LeMahieu. Gave up a double to Arenado in the 4th, but got through that. And now has retired 6 in a row. And Kadire takes off the plate for ball 1. Popped up. Murphy out to call. 2 out. So 2 quick outs for DeGrom. Let's go to the studio. Steve Gelbs is standing by for a game break brought to you by your local Tri-Honda dealer. Another home run from Devin Mesoraco. That's 23 now. Here's Justin Morneau, who's 0 for 2, fouled out and flied out. And he flies one out to center. Lagares back, has room on the track, side retired. 5-pitch inning for Jacob DeGrom after getting the lead. Middle of the 6th, 1-0 Mets. for Slow Motion is brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealers. Visit them on the web at searchmercedes.com. We go to the bottom of the 6th. The Mets with a 1-0 lead, and Kevin is back in his most familiar spot in the ballpark.
Well, the field reporter chair was getting lonely tonight. I had to come sit in it for a little while, Gary. You know, Justin Morneau just made the last out, but I had a very interesting conversation with him today, and I'd love to get your guys' take on it. We were talking about hitting in general, and he basically put it out there that he thinks Coors Field may have helped him get back to his old self as a hitter and become a better hitter, which I thought was fascinating. You see, we were talking about his time playing in Minnesota, and guys, we've been there. The park is enormous there. And he said, you know, look, the park wasn't good for a left-handed hitter, and, you know, I like to go all fields, and you know, what happened is you start going to left field, and it wasn't only the home runs. It's that you'd hit a ball well, and it would be outs. So no home runs, no doubles, no hits. And that started to affect me. And then you become pull conscious, and as you know, that park isn't exactly easy to pull one out of there either. He said, so, you know, it's not an excuse, but it definitely affected my approach, and I let it affect my approach. He said, coming to Coors Field with the gaps the way they are, I think it allowed me to relax and go back to my old self and feel free to use the whole ballpark and get base hits the other way and then hit with power the other way. You know, he then went on to talk about the home road splits. He said, look, I think there's something to that it's easier to hit there, but it's an excuse, really. But he says that Coors Field has made him a better hitter, which I just thought was a really interesting take. Keith, your thoughts on that whole conversation and hitters being affected by today's ballparks?
Well, you know, his teammate, an all-star catcher, Joe Mauer, had his power numbers dropped precipitously when they moved to that ballpark also.
Campbell out to right center field. Blackman ranging over. 1 out.
You can get in bad habits, and they always, Kev, Fenway, Yankee Stadium, left-hand hitters learn to pull there. Then they get on the road, and the ballparks are different. Fenway, the short right, left field porch. You heard about guys having trouble on the road. They're tailoring their approach and their swings to those two ballparks. I find it very interesting. One thing's for certain is that fly balls are now home runs, and home runs are hits, and also men on base, they're RBIs and they're runs scored. So it's going to help you in so many ways playing at Coors Field. But you can get into that home run habit when you come to the bigger ballparks. And for example, I've always felt that when the Phillies were red hot and were dominating, they were a different ball club in Philadelphia at Citizens Bank Park, and it was Vantage Mets when they came here because of the bigger park. Now, to me, it just shows, as Lucas lines out right there, to Morneau, that Morneau is very disciplined. Right. That you just can't swing for the fences or swing up and then expect at home 81 games and expect to go on the road and be able to change that. You have to have good habits in batting practice, and it shows me that he's very intelligent, number one, and he's very disciplined.
Well, and I think also, I mean, Morneau hasn't had a big home run hitting year, certainly not like he used to back in his MVP days, but to me what makes Coors Field a great hitter's field more than anything else is because it's immense. Yeah. I mean, it's got the biggest outfield of any park in the major leagues. There's so much room to get base hits.
Gary, I played in the minor leagues in Denver, an old Mile High Stadium, so it's the same. The line dries off your bat. They sizzle off your bat. It's different.
There's a sizzler off the bat of Darno for a 2-out hit.
I set you up for that one.
Thank you.
But I hit line drives up there, Gary, that the ball just jumps off your bat, even when you hit a line drive or a ground ball. Everybody says, oh, okay, you hit it a mile there, but it's also, it just erupts off your bat on the ground and as a line drive.
Well, it was interesting looking at Morneau's splits that, you know, unlike so many other Coors Field hitters, his splits are fairly even home and road. I mean, the guy he replaced, Todd Helton, was a great player, but you look at his home road splits, he was a Hall of Famer at Coors Field and a very good player playing on the road.
I think there's two caveats for me. One, Morneau went through some concussion periods where he lost some of the great years of his playing. But even more importantly than that, you can't overlook that he had his MVP year in 06 in the Homer Dome. That's what it was called. So 37 doubles, 34 home runs, 130 RBI. So Minnesota giveth, and now it is taken away.
Why aren't their pitchers better?
Well, that's a whole nother thing. We'll get Rick Anderson on the phone. Maybe he can explain it.
I mean,
pitching coach for the Twins.
Seen Ricky Nolasco's numbers lately? 2-1 to Granderson, who's 1 for 2, and he fouls one back. Granderson had a bunt hit back in the second.
Although Philip Hughes has had a comeback year.
He had a great get out of New York year.
He couldn't wait.
Granderson hits it deep to right center field. Back goes Kadire on the warning track, and it's off the base of the wall. Darno around third, racing for the plate. He'll score, and it gets loose. Granderson breaks for third, and Morneau will not make a throw. An RBI double for Granderson. He takes third when the Rockies couldn't secure it, and the Mets have a 2-0 lead.
Well, this ball's crushed. Thought it had a chance to get out. It does not, but it's an RBI double. And what was Rutledge doing letting that ball go through? Well, we'll just watch Darno first. I'll get back to Rutledge. 2 outs, running all the way. Got a little bit towards the end, maybe enough not to get out. And very alert right here. Pick up the ball. There you go. Now this is a sloppy throw in, a very poor throw in. What's Rutledge doing? What is that all about? A throw like that and you let it go?
So it's an error charge to Blackman on the throw, allowing Granderson to go to third. So Curtis continues his hot hitting in that 6 hole. That's 5 games in that slot in the batting order. He's now 8 for 18. 2 homers, a double, a triple, 8 RBIs.
Keith, remember their mechanics, fundamentals on Granderson's triple last night when they didn't even attempt to throw when there could have been a play at third base.
Very
so
good.
2 nights in a row.
Good point, Ron.
Left-hander Johan Flande is up in the bullpen for Colorado, and Flores fouls one back. So after 2 out and nobody on, Darno with a base hit, and Granderson drives him home, just like the 9th inning last night. Flores has flied out and popped up 0 for 2. .97 pitches now for Christian Bergman, who threw just 80 in 6 innings in his last start against the Giants. Gave up 2 runs in that outing, 2 runs tonight. Flores taps one back to Bergman, and that'll do it. But the Mets tack on a run on Granderson's RBI double. 2-0 New York after 6.
Game with insider info, opinion, and post-game reactions, plus a preview of tomorrow's game as the Mets give Rafael Montero a start on Mets Blog, powered by Verizon, part of the SNY.TV blog network. We're showing you some spectacular views of New York at night. Jacob DeGrom now with a 2-0 lead as we start the 7th, facing the raging hot Nolan Arenado, who drilled a double to left his last time up. Since then, DeGrom has retired 8 in a row. It'll be Arenado, then Dickerson and Rosario against DeGrom here in the 7th. And quickly, DeGrom gets ahead 0-2. And Arenado chases the fastball up and away. 6 strikeouts now for DeGrom. So 1 out in the 7th.
First at bat that Arenado got overmatched in the series. It happens. Sometimes they're better than you.
Second Cholula of the night. One out and nobody on. Now Corey Dickerson, who's grounded out and struck out 0 for 2.
Big uppercut, healthy swing. Going to wrench his back one of these days with that vicious cut.
Or his rotator cuff. One or the other, as Kevin said.
Or an oblique. That's, you know, that's attached to your, that's part of your back area. The oblique is the front side of the back.
Where's that in relation to the intercostal?
Or the back is backside of the front.
Now you've really confused me. Not for the first time. Oh, and 2 to Dickerson. Strike 3 call.
Beautiful pitch.
6 pitches, 2 strikeouts for DeGrom to start the 7th. 7 for the night now for Jacob.
Dickerson's arguing, but it's right there. Knees,
Paint.
outside corner.
Paint your wagon.
His ability to keep the ball at the knees is startling for a young pitcher, isn't it?
Well, not only to throw it at the knees, but the first 2 pitches were up out of the strike zone where Dickerson cannot handle the pitch, and then just painted him.
He's something else.
And now Rosario with 2 out. And he takes the first ball of the inning.
There's nothing much better than setting up a hitter with 2 high fastballs and painting a fastball and watching him walk back to the dugout. It's a beautiful sight.
It's a thing of beauty.
Rosario hits a sharp ground ball, and Campbell is equal to it. Side retired. An 8-pitch inning for Jacob DeGrom. He's now retired 11 in a row. Cruise control, 7th inning stretch, 2-0 New York.
2 days away from the 13th year anniversary of the 9/11 tragedies, and commemorations have already begun here in New York. Light cast in remembrance of the Twin Towers. Earlier today, Terry Collins, Travis d'Arnaud, and Zach Wheeler toured the 9/11 Memorial Museum, which opened in May. And I haven't been there yet, but I hear it is absolutely riveting, and I know those three had a great appreciation of what they saw today. They visited the 9/11 Memorial and the reflecting pools, and sobering experience for anybody.
With you, I've not been down there yet, and what a day to spend before a ball game, right?
Rookie left-hander Johan Flande, who did some starting for the Rockies this year, will come on in relief.
Yeah, he started 8 games. His record 0-5 has not been good. This is his 4th relief appearance.
Matt Dendecker, first man up against him. DeGrom is out on deck, so it looks like he'll continue on. And Dendecker takes a strike, and why not? DeGrom's only thrown 84 pitches in 7 innings, and he has been working on cruise control.
Real nice job, though, by Christian Bergman. He was impressive in tonight's game also.
Second straight start where he went 6 innings and allowed just the 2 runs. And now Dendecker is hit by the pitch. Did that get him on the wrist that he broke last year?
Oh, he's in pain. Let's see where it got him. It got him on the wrist.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a bad spot.
The left hand. Gosh darn it.
It was his right hand, the right wrist that he broke, right?
You're right.
His glove hand.
Yep. It's the left one he got hit on here, which is his throwing hand, of course.
Got to ice it overnight. 24 hours ice. The book of Ron Hunt.
Ray Ramirez and Terry Collins trying to determine whether Dendecker can stay in the game.
It's nice to see that he can extend his fingers and squeeze and make a fist. That's what they will do. Now Ray wants to take a look at it, because sometimes it'll swell up pretty quickly, but you're conflicted if you're a young player, right? You don't want to come out of that lineup. Watch, his hand lifts and it hits underneath the bat and then catches him right on that left wrist. Boy, a very vulnerable place. Underneath that hamate bone. Might have caught maybe some flesh on the palm of his hand. Might have saved him.
Glad to see he's staying in the game.
So the Mets have a leadoff base runner now. DeGrom, who's 0 for 2, has 4 sacrifices to go with his 10 hits this year.
Tempted to take DeGrom out after Flande. Right?
Arenado charging as hard as any third baseman we've seen in a long time on that bunt, and the way DeGrom can swing the bat, that could be dangerous.
Let him swing it.
I mean, that was incredibly aggressive on Arenado's part. And that time much less aggressive. Interesting. Maybe almost begging him to swing away. Now it's a ball and a strike. Have you seen that much?
No, that reminded me a little of number 17 over here. So aggressive Keith used to be. Maybe not that aggressive. Under control.
And this time he comes in hard. DeGrom gets the bunt down, and the pitcher has to field it, and LeMahieu does well to keep it from going down the line. 1-4 on the sacrifice. Another pitcher struggling to throw to a base. Dendecker to second with 1 out. New York Mets baseball on SNY is brought to you by your Tri-Honda dealer. Hurry to your local Tri-Honda dealer for great deals on the 2014 models. By Optimum, presenting Mets games in crystal clear HD, and by Verizon. Create, share, and save every Mets moment with Fios Quantum and Verizon XLTE, the next advancement of America's largest and most reliable network. Well, Juan Lagares drove in the first Met run with a 2-out single in the 5th. Bats here with a runner in scoring position and 1 out.
you know, to show you how difficult it's been for the Rockies just to get some healthy arms. Flande was brought up from AAA. He was 3-11 with a 5.60 ERA in 16 starts.
Well, here's what you need to know about the Rockies pitching staff. They've given up the most hits of any pitching staff in the league. They've given up the most walks of any pitching staff in the league. They've given up the most home runs of any pitching staff in the league. They have the fewest strikeouts of any pitching staff in the league. And needless to say, they have the highest ERA of any staff.
Well, the cardinal sin of all those stats you just read off, you can imagine the ERA, the home runs. But if you're going to give up a lot of hits and pitch at Coors Field, you can't be walking people.
But you can understand that pitchers can be a little trepidatious when they're pitching in that ballpark. Lagares bounces one for Arenado, looks the runner back, and makes the play for the second out. So 2 away. Dendecker still at second. Murphy coming up. Matt Belisle up in the bullpen. The Mets have just announced that when this game is over, that David Wright and Sandy Alderson are going to be having a joint press conference after the game. David was having his shoulder looked at today, so you can read into that what you want, but it's probably not a good sign.
Yeah.
David was held out of the lineup today so he could go back to the doctor and have a look at that ailing left shoulder, which has been a factor now for what, 3 months?
Well, Keith said it in the open. If David can't make it because of the bad shoulder, put Murph at third, and let's continue to take a nice look at the 20-year-old.
Mr. Herrera, yes, I agree.
Murphy is 1 for 3, had an infield hit in the third inning. Let me just play devil's advocate for a moment. Is that fair to Murph? He's been playing second base all year, concentrating on getting better at that position, and all of a sudden 2 weeks to go in the season, you're going to move him over to third?
I think he's a veteran that as long as he's in the lineup, doesn't matter. Murph's not like he has never played third.
Might be his best position.
Oh, and he filled in for Wright a couple of years ago at third base when David missed a lot of time with the back injury. I'm not saying he can't do it. I'm just wondering at this point whether they'd be reluctant to do it on that basis.
6 games under 500. I mean, no one is do anything. Put the best team you have on the field late in the season. And Murph has. He's had an incredible season, and Murph has shown that he's been a team player ever since the day he put on the uniform. So why wouldn't he be now?
Dendecker at second and 2 out. And Murphy takes it low, and Flande behind 3-1. Campbell on deck, so if Flande doesn't retire Murphy, we'll probably see the right-hander come in. Campbell getting the start at third base tonight with Wright on the sidelines.
I really loved your walks and hits, so that's the whip, plus the most home runs given up, minus the least amount of strikeouts. There's got to be a sabermetric there somewhere. Whipper won't, or Whipper will, Whipper won't.
It's not good, I promise. Murphy's on with a walk. So the Mets have 2 men on. Let's see if they leave Flande in or bring in Belisle. And looks like Walt Weiss is staying put. So Campbell will bat against the lefty. Eric's 0 for 3 tonight. Christian Bergman, after his 6 innings in his 7th major league start, acquitted himself well. No walks, 1 strikeout, 2 runs and 6 hits. Dendecker got hit by a pitch. He's at second. Murphy walked. He's at first with 2 out. Campbell has reached on an error, grounded out and flied out, 0 for 3.
What's he worried about?
Braves coming back in Washington. They were down 6-2, now 6-4 after Justin Upton hit his 27th home run.
Young man Flande throws a little bit like Antonio Bastardo of the Philadelphia Phillies. Straight over the top.
Campbell swings through the fastball, 0-2.
That's a pitch he likes to hit. Usually the belt pitch up out over the plate.
And Campbell out on 3 pitches. Flande left in to face the right-hand hitter, gets the job done. Jacob DeGrom heading back to the mound for the 8th inning with a 2-0 lead. By Cadillac, the Angels, who now have an 8-game lead in the AL West, early ahead of Texas 2-1. That's in the 5th. The A's, who have been stumbling, are up 2-0 on the White Sox, and Milwaukee is down 2-0 now to Miami. That's in the 3rd. Jacob DeGrom's retired 11 in a row as he takes on Josh Rutledge to start the 8th inning, and Rutledge takes a breaking ball outside. Well, Matt Dendecker got hit on that left wrist by a pitch, and he's come out of the game. Eric Young has replaced him in left field so that he can go back and get x-rays. Rutledge takes a curveball for a strike, and it's 1-1. DeGrom has been special again. 21 straight innings now without allowing an earned run. Throws the high fastball by Rutledge, 1-2.
I mean, the swing and miss on the high fastball has been the theme tonight for these Colorado hitters.
Rutledge can't handle the high ball. Got a very, very slow bat.
Tried to hold, stopped it in time. Fielded Colbert with the call, 2-2.
And he did.
Two. Struck him out. Another high fastball, another strikeout for DeGrom, his 8th of the night. He's getting better and better as this game goes on.
He's definitely getting stronger.
Just threw this ball right by him. He's got such a long, languid, beautiful delivery. Great rhythm in it.
Excellent. Adjective. Languid. Love it. That's a sweet word.
That's a New Haven word.
I haven't heard sweet. Who was the guy on our team that used to say sweet all the time? Lenny.
Yeah, but he said he didn't pronounce the S.
Go ahead, Gary. Sweet.
Well, DeGrom, this is up to the minute, his ERA at 2.63. You might note in this graphic, Matlack won the Cy Young. Gooden won the Rookie of the Year. Gooden won the Rookie of the Year. Seaver won the Rookie of the Year. Kuzmin, who had the best ERA as a rookie, did not. Got beat by 1 vote by Johnny Bench for Rookie of the Year.
2.08.
Of course, that was the year of the pitcher. And DeGrom certainly in the running for this year's National League Rookie of the Year, and his performance tonight won't hurt. 12 in a row he's retired against the highest scoring team in the National League, albeit out of their comfort zone.
But still throwing 96 here in the 8th inning.
And Paulson out on deck to pinch hit for Colorado. One two to LeMahieu. Jacobs given up only 3 hits tonight.
You just watch DeGrom, and his mind is going at it. His concentration is impeccable.
Fly ball. Who's going to get there? Nobody. Murphy approaching that sidewall, but out of play. The deepest that DeGrom has gone into any game is 7 1/3, which he has matched tonight. See Murphy just coming up shy of that one. DeGrom went 7 1/3 against the Giants back on August 2nd. And here he's matched that tonight. Two and two to LeMahieu. Popped up, shallow center. On comes Lagares, reaching to make the grab. He is special, isn't he?
Wow.
There are very few center fielders who play shallow enough and have the first step to get to that ball in that shallow center field.
I thought this one was a wounded duck.
Watch how he snatches it again. It's starting to come out, and he realigns it back in the pocket.
He just got such a great jump, such great acceleration. He's something else, day in, day out.
Now Ben Paulson will be the pinch hitter. Paulson appeared as a pinch hitter last night and flied out. He's been battling a bit of an elbow injury after being hit on the elbow on Sunday. And Paulson takes a strike. Rex Brothers up in the Colorado bullpen. So now DeGrom trying to get through 8 innings for the first time. And he's ahead on Paulson 0-2.
I like DeGrom's to the left-handers, Ronnie. That little, he gets a little on top of that breaking ball. Good down tilt on it. He's got a good one.
He's tried to paint guys before. Remember Dickerson? That fastball away, paint 0-2.
Struck him out. Jacob DeGrom threw 8 innings for the first time in his career. He's retired 14 in a row. 9 strikeouts tonight for DeGrom and a 2-0 Met lead in the 8th.
dominated the Nats until last night. Verizon trivia question: the 5 Rockies who've won a batting title just in this century. Not that it's easy to hit in Colorado or anything. Get to Coors Field this Saturday for Fireworks Night, presented by Dwayne Reed, following the Mets game against the Nats at 7:10. For tickets, visit Mets.com/fireworks. Rex Brothers pitching for the Rockies.
Yeah, his numbers are not close to last year. He appeared in 72 games last year, was 2-1 with a 1.74 ERA. See, those numbers not the same.
By the way, just to clarify, the Fireworks Night coming up, it's at Citi Field.
What did you say?
I think I said Coors Field.
Wow, that's quite a trip for fireworks.
We were talking about batting champions, and I got transported. See, it's Citi Field. That's where the fireworks
Looks
are.
nice there, no, in the Rockies, though.
Duda 0 for 3 tonight, and he hits one toward the middle of the diamond. That's through for a base hit. So Duda, who had been stymied to this point, has a leadoff hit against the left-hander to start the 8th inning. Let's check in with Kevin, who's down in the well.
Well, you know, I've been here obviously for a long time throughout the 8 years, Gary, you know, but a couple things here. First of all, you appreciate obviously how difficult it is to hit. I think I like being so close to the dugout too. I mean, I'm literally 2 arms lengths away from Terry Collins. I like watching what goes on down there. You could really get a sense, hear some conversations. I think the interesting thing, and Terry has mentioned this before, when you're in this vantage point, you really have no concept of if the ball is a strike. It's really hard to determine because you can't see side to side and tell depth from this position. So it's funny, as a manager sometimes, you know, when you're going out and arguing calls, you really have to go on the reaction of your players, because from where I'm sitting, you just can't tell.
You can tell high and low from there, right, Kevin?
Yeah, that you can. That you can.
By the way, Kev, did you get any indication when DeGrom came in that after that last half inning, is he going to get a chance to pitch the 9th?
I mean, I didn't see him shaking hands or anything, so I'm assuming.
Well, that would be special. Yes.
I think he's earned it.
Well, you just don't see it happen, and with all the conversation this week about, you know, limiting pitch counts and all that, Henry Mejia is up in the bullpen.
It's interesting because you don't know what Kevin did that piece where he said that Zach Wheeler, when he pitches, is absolutely quiet. Jacob DeGrom loves to chat the entire time.
0-2 to d'Arnaud, and he lines one right at the second baseman. LeMahieu doubles up Duda. A 4-3 double play, 2 out and nobody on.
Bullet. Hang with them, d'Arnaud. But terrific at bat. Tough chance for Duda here.
It's interesting watching something simple, really means nothing. Watch the footwork of Justin Morneau. Okay, line drive there. Watch Morneau go back, get on the outside part of the bag to give that great angle for LeMahieu. I mean, little thing, but it's nice watching it done correctly.
So 2 out and nobody on. Now Granderson, who's 2 for 3 today, an RBI double his last time up for the second Met run. And he takes a strike from Brothers. Tomorrow night, the final game of this series. Rafael Montero returns to make the start against Tyler Matzik. Our coverage begins tomorrow at 6 o'clock right here on SNY. Looking ahead to the 9th inning, the Rockies will have the top of the batting order. Blackman, Kadire, and Morneau coming up. Tonight after the post game, Chris Carlin will be on hand. Fashion Week.
That's one of his best ones. Way to go, Chris.
So the only 2 words you need to know. Fashion Week.
You know, Chris is, you know, he's on the A list.
Front row. Runway.
He's sitting right next to Anna Wintour at all times.
1-2. So you're saying that Chris just missed out on that role in The Devil Wears Prada? That was going to be his part?
Yeah.
To play opposite Meryl Streep?
Yeah, why not?
That would have been so much of a better movie.
He would have been treated so poorly, though.
Two and 2 to Granderson. And Curtis takes inside. Full count.
on the inside corner. Granderson caught looking. So Brothers strikes out Granderson, and that sends us off to the ninth. Mets 2, Rockies nothing. Jets-Packers matchup at Lambeau Field with a constant flow of up-to-the-minute news and opinion, plus fan discussions, player comments, and exclusive video on Jets blog featured on SNY.TV, your online home of all things New York sports. Well, DeGrom is out after 8, and Henry Mejia will try and save it for him after DeGrom's brilliant effort.
Well, his numbers are fantastic. 24 to 27, 25 saves is something to be said when your first year of doing the job.
Back when Mejia was a starter earlier in the year, his worst start by far came at Coors Field. He gave up 8 runs in 4 1/3 innings. He'll face the top of the Rockies batting order with a 2-run lead in the 9th. And Charlie Blackmon takes the curveball up and away for ball 1. Blackmon 0 for 3 tonight. DeGrom retired the last 14 batters. Gave up just 3 hits, no walks, 9 strikeouts in 8 innings. Mejia trying to bounce back from a very rocky save in Cincinnati on Sunday. He falls behind on Blackmon 2-0. Mejia gave up a home run to Jay Bruce, a double to Jack Hanahan, a run scoring hit to Ryan Ludwig, and was up against the wall with the bases loaded before he finally struck out Devin Mesoraco in the shadows to preserve a 1-run win. There's a strike. 2-1 to Blackmon. Michael Kadire on deck. Justin Morneau behind him. And if anybody gets on, Nolan Arenado, who hit a grand slam against Mejia in that game at Coors Field earlier this year. Nice knee-high strike. 2-2. DeGrom, with his 8 scoreless innings tonight, lowered his ERA for the season to 2.62.
No walks.
If he had enough innings to qualify, DeGrom would now be 5th in the National League in ERA. 2-2 to Blackman leading off the ninth.
It's a silly question because I always have more than that, but it's 162?
Right.
Yeah. 1
inning per team game played. So if you want to be listed on the league leaders for the Mets right now, you'd have to have 145 innings. DeGrom has 127.
Run that formula by me again.
1 inning per team game.
Okay.
So the Mets are playing their 145th game. And DeGrom is 127 innings. 2-2. Going inside. Well, the last thing in the world with a 2-run lead that you can do is walk somebody. And you got lots of guys behind Blackman who can hit the ball out of the ballpark. Last base runner for the Rockies was Arenado, who doubled back in the 4th. 3-2 coming to Blackman. Line the other way, a base hit. And the Rockies will get the tying run to the plate in the ninth. So another ninth inning starts with difficulty for Mejia. Let's answer our Verizon trivia question. The 5 Rockies have won a batting title since 2000. Well, Kadire did it last year.
Walker. Holiday. That's the one I didn't know. Huh.
So here's Kadire, who homered last night. 0 for 3 today. Struck out, flied out, and popped up against DeGrom. Blackman at first and nobody out. Rockies with their 4th hit of the night. And Kadire lines one the other way. And that goes foul.
Well, I know the game has changed, so a pitcher throwing a shutout is not left in the game as this goes into the stands. I understand that. But one thing that hasn't changed, if you're the opposing team and you have not had a chance to get a hit all game long, you are so happy to see the pitcher leave the game.
Yes.
That has not changed.
I can tell you that from experience.
Justin Morneau on deck. Kadire down on the count 0-2.
Good curve here.
Now the 0-2. Wouldn't chase that slider. 1-2.
Last couple of games watching Mejia, that's the one thing that's been a little different for me. It's when he's gotten ahead, that pitch that he's trying to put him away at is just so far to the strike zone that they're not offering at it.
Blackman, good speed at first. 1-2 to Kadire. Struck him out. Went low and away with the fastball. 1 down in the ninth.
Big out right there. Obviously, you got the 2 very fine hitters here. Back to 3 fine hitters. Kadire, Morneau, and Arenado.
It's a great example of the natural cut on Mejia's fastball. I mean, you look at the spin, it almost looks like a slider.
Comes out of his hand, though. The hitter reads fastball.
1 out and 1 on. And now Morneau, who's been up 3 times, hit the ball in the air all 3.
There's change up there to Morneau. See the grip, 4 seams, and the way it comes out for Henry, the hitter, when it comes out of his hand with that motion, just looks like it's going to be the riding fastball. But the natural cut, like you talked about, Gary, took it out of the strike zone.
I guess my question is, what produces that natural cut? Is it the pressure he puts on his fingers? Up the middle, and Morneau's got a base hit. Blackman will stop at second, and now the Rockies have the tying runs on base. And Nolan Arenado coming up.
Their hottest hitter. Nice pitch. That's a good pitch, and that's good hitting. Almost knocked Mejia on his fanny.
We'll get a pinch runner now. Drew Stubbs will run for Morneau, carrying the tying run at first base.
So Mejia will face a batter who crushed his night in Colorado earlier this year.
And as you and Keith have said, he is red hot.
He's hit a home run in this series.
And the home run against Mejia was a grand slam. So Blackman at second, Stubbs carrying the tying run at first. And the Rockies have hope in the ninth. Time for Mejia to take a deep breath. Arenado tonight 1 for 3, a hard hit double back in the fourth. Jerry's Familia, Josh Edgin both on call behind Mejia. Haven't seen that much. And that goes to the backstop, and that'll move the tying run into scoring position. A wild pitch charged to Mejia. And now Blackman at third and Stubbs at second.
No, not even close. I always say that the catcher, the toughest one, you call a fastball, you expect your pitcher to throw it close, but still hope that Travis could get over there and try to block it. I don't know if you can.
So now a base hit could tie the game for Colorado. Infield back, of course, with a 2-run lead. Blackman at third, his run means nothing. Stubbs at second, his run means everything. And Mejia really having trouble. Now behind 2-0 on Arenado. You got the left-hand hitter Dickerson on deck. You got Edgin throwing in the bullpen. Would Terry make that kind of a move and pull his closer?
Depends on what Arenado does. If Arenado hits a rope somewhere, it scores 2. He could.
What if he walks?
Yes, he will take him out. I believe.
Good eye.
Now it's 3-0.
He is just really right on. When you're red hot, you see everything. He took a bait slider right there beautifully.
You swing 3-0 here?
Gosh.
Boy, it's a tough one.
It's a tough call. You could.
Hot hitter? Why not? Late in the season?
You could.
At 59 and 85, why not? 3-0 coming, and he swings and fouls it back. Throw him a 3-0 slider.
He got a rip at it, and it was a up slider out over the plate.
Got it away just enough. I haven't seen a right-handed hitter hit with this kind of top hand in quite some time.
I haven't seen a hitter up there with such confidence in a while.
Was 23 years old, second big league season, and up in a big spot here in the ninth. 3-1 coming from Mejia, and Arenado walks, and now the bases are loaded. So now the tying run is at second, the potential go-ahead run is at first, and Terry Collins has to decide: do I pull my closer and bring in the lefty?
Tough call.
Well, the hard call about it, it's not like if you bring in Josh Edgin, it's 100%.
I agree with Terry right here. I do agree.
Well, especially since Edgin has not pitched in a while. He's been struggling with elbow problems and has not pitched since the 23rd of August. Well, Terry has not yet made the sign, has he?
No, he has not.
But he has taken the ball.
But he'll take the ball if the pitcher's going to hand it to him.
Well, Mejia is out after giving up 2 hits and a walk, and Edgin, in his first outing in 2.5 weeks, is going to come into a bases-loaded jam to face a tough hitter in Corey Dickerson. Call to the bullpen brought to you by Verizon. but he'll jump right back into the fire.
And we saw Vic Black pitch yesterday on 16 days. First time in 16 days. What a predicament to come into.
Edgens had some issues with his elbow, had a cortisone shot, and now back in there to face Corey Dickerson, who's 0 for 3 tonight, but is a dangerous hitter with the bases loaded and 1 out. Blackman at third, Stubbs at second, Arenado at first, 2-0 New York. And Dickerson takes a strike.
282 hitter against left-handers and 78 at bats, 3 home runs.
Had a double against John Neese last night.
Slight shade in the outfield of the opposite field. No one guarding the line.
Looped foul. Remember that Eric Young is playing left field. Matt Dendecker came out after being hit on the wrist. So that's one less arm that you have in the outfield with Dendecker out and Young in.
2 good pitches. Leadoff slider away. Fastball up and in command of the at bat.
Willian Rosario on decks. This is probably a 1-batter outing for Edgen. 0-2 coming. Struck him out. Josh Edgen returns with a flourish. 3 pitches, and he disposes of Corey Dickerson for the 2nd out.
Beautiful pitching. Up the ladder, RJ.
We've seen it in the first 2 games of this series. You're going to attack Dickerson above the letters.
So Edgen gets the job done. Now Jerry's Familia will come in to try to get the final out, with Rosario coming up with the bases loaded. The pitching change brought to you by Wise Snacks. Out to finish off this game.
I was not in Cincinnati, but you guys were, and said Familia was in rare form with that inning of work and 3 strikeouts.
Well, he had the rough one on Labor Day in Miami, and his last 2 outings since, he has really been on point. And he needs to be here facing Willian Rosario, a power hitter, who's 1 for 3 tonight. Bases loaded, 2 out, top of the 9th, 2-0 New York. Rosario's had 1 career at bat against Familia, a strikeout. Jay Reese bidding for his 5th save. 1-on-1 against Rosario.
Slight shade to the opposite field in the outfield, giving the lines in the corners.
And Rosario goes after the first pitch slider, 0-1.
Wicked slider.
What a big pitch. You got a guy sitting on the sinking fastball. Change up with the slider.
Now remember, Familia comes in with men on base. He's been known to spike things, spike the ball, maybe throw a wild pitch. That's an excellent first pitch right there.
I think if you're d'Arnaud, you want to frame pitches, but you want to also be on high alert to go anywhere at any time.
Oh, and 1 to Rosario. And it gets away from d'Arnaud, but not far enough for Blackman to take a chance. Not down by 2 runs. Good job by d'Arnaud to track it down.
That's the fastball that could really eat up the thumb of the catcher.
Boy, oh boy, that ball
You see how he turned the glove the wrong way? That's that framing as opposed to catching.
You really have to be like a hockey goalie in a defensive position with Familia because his ball just moves so much.
Right.
Got to catch like Mickey Cochran or, almost like 2 hands out there.
I don't remember Mickey.
Philadelphia Athletics.
I know. Never saw him play.
1-1 now to Rosario. And that one's down. 2-1.
Throws a wicked slider and misses with 2 fastballs. Way out of the strike zone.
Defense on its toes here.
Given the lines.
Right to that guy. Bases loaded, 2 out. 2-1 count to Rosario. Flores in front of it. And the ball game is over. Familia comes in and gets the final out to protect it for Jacob DeGrom, who was brilliant tonight over 8 scoreless innings. The Mets patched together the 9th. Edgin and Familia each get an out behind Mejia. And the Mets, with a 2-0 win, have now won 6 of their last 7.
Boy, that was a pretty game to watch. Of course, most of it focused on Jacob DeGrom with his 8 shutout innings and 9 strikeouts. But the player who made the last play there, Wilmer Flores, don't forget, in the 2nd inning, he dove in that Rutledge infield hit, kept the runner Rosario from scoring, and that gave DeGrom the chance to pitch those shutout innings.
The Mets out hit the Rockies 7-5. RBIs by Granderson. That was that drove in the 2nd run. That was a big double in the right center field that scored d'Arnaud. And also Dendecker after a double by Dendecker. Lagares got a base hit on the 5th. They got the Mets on the board. So well pitched game. Clutch hits with 2 outs. Mets win.
DeGrom goes 8 innings for the first time in his big league career. Could have gone 9, but pulled after 100 pitches. And the Mets hang on for the 2-0 win. For every Mets win, the Mets Foundation is proud to contribute $2,500 to the Cats Women's Hospital and the Cats Institute for Women's Health. For more information, visit northshorelij.com/KIWH. This win brings the total contribution so far this season to $175,000. Mets win at 2-0 over the Rockies, their 3rd straight win. More from Citi Field coming up.